If you've ever stood near the remains of an ancient bridge post pulled from a riverbed, or examined the blackened base of a centuries-old fence still holding firm, you've already encountered one of humanity's most reliable preservation techniques. Before preservatives, pressure treatment, or synthetic sealants existed, people discovered something kind of counterintuitive. Fire, when controlled, could actually protect wood rather than destroy it. This is the kind of grounded, evidence-backed knowledge relic logic exists to preserve. So if you value hard-earned historical insight over modern shortcuts, go ahead and subscribe now and stay with us. What follows isn't folklore or myth, but a practical explanation of why charring works, how it was used across cultures, and how the same logic can still be applied today. The reason ancient builders trusted fire where others feared rot lies in how wood actually decays. Rot does not begin because wood gets wet just once. It begins when moisture, oxygen, fungi, and nutrients all remain present long enough for biological processes to take hold. Ancient builders may not have named fungi or microbes, but they definitely understood outcomes. Charring alters the surface of wood in a way that disrupts every requirement for decay, without sealing the material entirely. The chemical change created by charring explains its long-term effectiveness. When wood is exposed to controlled heat, its outer layer undergoes pyrolysis. This process breaks down cellulose and hemicellulose, the very compounds fungi and insects feed on. What remains is a carbon-rich layer that is nutritionally useless to most organisms. In practical terms, charred wood becomes unappetizing and biologically inactive at the surface. This is why insects avoid it, and decay slows dramatically. The wood underneath remains structurally sound while the outer shell acts as armor. The physical structure of charred wood sheds water instead of trapping it. One of the most misunderstood aspects of charring is moisture behavior. Charred wood is not waterproof in the modern sense, but it is hydrophobic at the surface. The carbonized layer repels liquid water, while still allowing internal moisture to migrate outward as vapor. This prevents the cycle of saturation and stagnation that causes rot. Ancient builders didn't need laboratory data to know this. They observed that charred posts dried faster after rain and survived longer in soil. The widespread historical use of charring proves it was a solution, not a coincidence. From Japanese yakisugi siding to Viking fence posts, from Roman bridge pilings to medieval agricultural tools, charring appears wherever wood met moisture and time mattered. These cultures were separated by geography and language, yet they arrived at the same conclusion. Fire, applied briefly and deliberately, extended the working life of wood. This convergence is one of the strongest arguments for charring's legitimacy. The practical method used historically was simple and repeatable. Wood was exposed to open flame until the surface blackened evenly, not until it cracked or burned through. The goal was a deep char of a few millimeters, not structural damage. Once charred, the surface was often brushed to remove loose carbon, then sometimes rubbed with oil, animal fat, or resin. This sealed microcracks and stabilized the char layer. You can apply this today by charring the base of fence posts, garden bed edges, shed supports, or outdoor tool handles, then lightly oiling them once cooled. The reason charring outperforms modern treatments in some conditions lies in breathability. Many modern preservatives seal wood completely. When that seal fails, moisture becomes trapped, accelerating decay beneath the surface. Charred wood fails differently. Even when the char layer erodes over time, it does so gradually and visibly, allowing maintenance before structural failure. Ancient systems favored materials that aged predictably rather than invisibly. This is a mindset modern builders are slowly rediscovering. The application of charring in survival and low-tech building remains highly relevant. If you are constructing temporary shelters, raised beds, root cellars, or storage racks without access to treated lumber, charring is one of the most efficient protections available. For example, charring the ends of beams that rest on stone foundations reduces moisture wicking. Charring wooden stakes before driving them into the ground dramatically slows rot. These are not aesthetic choices, but functional ones, proven under centuries of exposure. The final reason charring endures is that it respects wood as a living material rather than fighting it. Ancient builders did not try to freeze wood in time. They guided how it aged. Charring accepts that wood will interact with its environment, then alters that interaction in predictable, manageable ways. That philosophy is why so many charred structures outlasted chemically treated ones that came much later. If this kind of knowledge matters to you, if you value techniques tested by generations rather than marketing claims, make sure you subscribe to Relic Logic. Share this guide with fellow history enthusiasts, builders, and survivalists who understand that the past still holds solutions worth preserving.